Episode 3, who shall I fear? If you made it this far, man, I'm proud of you because you're growing and you're trying to be a better version of yourself. Man, this vision stuff in 2020 is big, especially now that we're hitting the second half of the year. But I got something for you, hot, fresh, and it's coming at you. Hey y'all, Chair Angel back for episode 3. Who shall I fear? That is, who shall I fear, man? But before I get started, I want to say thank you to all you guys out there that have been supporting me on Instagram, on Twitter, you know what I mean, on YouTube, all that, man. I'm so excited to know that people out there really appreciate the fact that I'm doing this, because at the end of the day, it's about growth and being a better version of yourself. But you know how we do, we always get into those affirmations so that we can change that mind and grow. So repeat after me. I, state your name, am a visionary and can see what others can't. I, state your name, am a person who sees solutions while others see problems. I, state your name, am grounded in my beliefs and truth for success, but I never judge others for their differences. I, state your name, am a person who accepts challenges because there is no growth without uncomfort. Man, and that's what it is right now. So let's get to what we like to do best, and I'd like to have you reflect and meditate on these questions so that you can understand how this is. And I hope that you're going back in these videos and taking notes and writing them down, because these are things you want to ask yourself again after this process is done on the last episode. So the first question I want to ask is, which is better, teacher, success or failure? Are other people's opinions more important than your truths? And how bad do you want your vision to come true? Now, reflect on that, because that's what it is when it comes to trying to understand how the world operates versus how your place in the world, you know what I mean? So all these questions are for a reason, man. So process them, meditate on them, and keep it moving. Now, episode 1. I talked about having a vision and the importance of having a vision, because without a vision, you run reckless and you don't know what to do with your life or do with yourself. Episode 2, I told you what's connected to having that vision is having patience, because things don't just happen overnight. You know what I mean? So episode 3, I want to link everything to failure. Understand failure in this situation. The dictionary defines failure as a lack of an accomplishment, aim, or purpose. Now, you have to understand failure in process. You know, because it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Because it's part of a process. You learn from your failures. You understand what I'm saying? You've learned from the many wrong things that you've done in your life so that you can better incorporate those mishaps and make them something better so that you can flourish and be who you're called to be. You know what I mean? When, you know, you can't, it's like rejection, man. You can't be discouraged because somebody rejects you or rejects your views of things and how you see things, because they may not see that vision. You know what I mean? I keep telling y'all that from last time. They may not see the vision, but you can't be discouraged with that rejection. I mean, let's be real. I mean, just a few people that I know got rejected. I don't know if you know who Oprah Winfrey is and Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? They got rejections, but yet you know who they are because they stayed on their path, they stayed on their purpose, and now they have accomplished what God called them to be and do. You know what I mean? So understand that. Keep the focus on learning, but don't overextend. What do I mean by that? It kind of makes me think of the tortoise and the hare book that I read to my kids, right? So the tortoise and the rabbit are racing, right? The rabbit takes off really fast to win the race. The tortoise takes his time because he understands his position, he understands patience, he understands vision, and he understands that he's gonna get there when he gets there, because that's the pace that God called him to do. The rabbit runs off and does everything other than being focused and doing the things that he's supposed to do that's best for him to win the race. But by the end of the book, the tortoise wins the race. You know why the tortoise runs the race? Because he didn't overextend himself. He worked in what he could operate in. He didn't try to do too much too fast, you know what I mean? Or try to keep up with the rabbit. Because the rabbit's journey and his journey was totally different. And because he stayed his ground and he did what he was supposed to do, what God called him to do, right? He winds up winning the race. And that's what I'm trying to tell you when I talk about these things, about understanding who you are, not coming down to accommodate people that you know ain't good for you. You know what I mean? Shoot, it's almost like I was talking about in the other series, Breaking Out of Prison of Mind. Man, watch out for them weeds. Watch out for them weeds. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is create a disciplined lifestyle. Well, you're like, I tell, what do you mean create a disciplined lifestyle? Well, you have a vision. Your vision, other people may not see. So that means you can't be focused on what other people are doing towards their vision that may be similar to yours, because yours is unique. So you have to have a disciplined lifestyle. Me, I get most of my videos and my information at 3 in the morning. Now, when I get woken up at 3 in the morning, the last thing I want to do is get up and write down stuff. But that's when I get my time, because I'm a disciplined. I know that most of my stuff is coming at 3 in the morning. Get up, write it down, because like God trying to give me something right now. There's something fresh that you need to deliver to the people. You know what I mean? So you gotta cultivate a disciplined lifestyle. Do the things that are needed. If you want to open a business, then you need to be reading up on businesses and taking in baby steps. Not trying to, again, overextend yourself where you get rejected and you fail and now you're mad because things didn't happen the way that you wanted it to be. But man, I take this stuff in order for a reason, because it all connects. So understand that. And the last thing I want to talk to you about right now is submerge yourself in your vision. Again, chill, man. You be throwing all the stuff out here, man. That's a lot to really process what you're talking about. Submerge yourself. I think of it like this. A submarine is only a submarine when it's submerged underwater. When it's above water, it's useless. It's not as effective as it could be. But when it's underwater, in its surroundings, it's making moves and doing the things that it needs to do to be effective for that military force, right? So you got to think about that when you submerge yourself in what is your vision. Man, shoot, man, I'm trying to get this all together, man, and break this up and chop it up in these bits and pieces, you know, so that you guys can put this 1,000-piece puzzle together and have that beautiful picture that is on the front of the box. Now, y'all know me, I always like to give a good quote. And the quote I'm going to give you today is by Frederick Douglass. You know, Frederick Douglass is known as the father of civil rights. And man, he was a powerful and strong black man in a tough time. So when I read the quote, I was like, man, this is powerful. And the quote says, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Understand that. And I know that went over some heads, man, because sometimes stuff go over my head, man. You know what I mean? We all human. It's all good. But I'm going to read it to you one more time. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Now, you know I like to tell you about the importance of knowing the stages of vision loss, running parallel to this vision. And phase 3 is mourning and withdrawal. See, a lot of that comes from rejection. You understand what I'm saying? It comes from failure. You know, you get to a certain point where you feel like, oh man, you're pretty much telling yourself a eulogy on your vision. I mean, come on, man. You got to be the moving force on that. You know what I mean? You got to stay focused on what is of you and what is the rest of the world. Otherwise, you're just going to find yourself in mourning and withdrawal and moping, and maybe it was not for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should have. Nah, we're not doing that. It's 2020. Stay focused on that vision, man. Now, y'all know at the end of every episode, I like for you to have a challenge. And the challenge I thought about today was best would suit your progression of where you're going and what you're doing, and it will help you to get to the next level. So I think you should create a vision board. And a vision board is a visualization tool which refers to a board of any sort used to build collages, words, pictures that represent your goals and dreams. Now, when I think of a vision board, I think about walking into a detective's office like they do in the movies. And he has all these pictures and all these articles and all these things on the wall. And he has a red string that ties to each moment of how it got to the case or how it got to whatever the main event was. Now that's how I view a vision board. So I challenge you to go out and create a vision board that is specific to you so that you can continue to grow and be effective. Now for my believers, you know I like to always have a scripture that aligns with what I'm talking about. And the scripture that I meditated on and came to me was Psalms 27:1. It says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. of whom shall I be afraid? Man, I tell you, this is powerful, man. It's powerful. As a believer, you know, we're supposed to feed that. We're supposed to eat on that, chew on that. And for you non-believers, like I told you before, man, hey, find you a good book out there to help you get motivated and help you on your journey and help you with your vision, man. Hey, man, don't forget to like us and subscribe. You know, Overcoming Limiting Beliefs on Instagram, email. I know y'all already hit me up, but I'm going to go ahead and remind you, man, and share these videos with other people, man, because knowledge is power. Understanding everything is power. Coming together and knowing who you are when you are free from that mind power. Hey, Shell Angel here. Stay positive and be blessed.